from Almaty in Kazakhstan. I'm here with an in-person client living the Zara experience. Got this beautiful afternoon. Autumn is here. And when I was chatting to my client who's here, I was having a little think about, where have I actually met the most beautiful women while I've been traveling and living in Eastern Europe for over 10 years, the 9s and 10s. How have I actually met them? Was it through social circle? Was it by going clubbing in the evening? Was it because, I don't know, I was hanging out at special events or just doing my daily routine? Was it because I tried a little bit of pickup? So in today's video, I want to just run through very quickly, very briefly, the different ways that you can meet women and how to do that in daily life.
Zara Experience.
Где ты будешь больше открыто познакомиться? Например, если это друг с друзьями, ты на бар, ты где познакомиться? Если не на улице?
Я думаю, что, скорее всего, более знакомого круга общения. Вот, кто-то знакомый. Я не думаю. Я такой человек, что я могу сама подойти познакомиться, если мне кто-то понравился.
So when I look back at where I have met the 9s and 10s, the models, I would say that the number one source was social circle. I do have another video on that. I'll link it up above and below. But that does take a big investment of time, but it is the method, shall we say, that I actually met the most of those very top level girls. Now, after that, I would say that running through the gauntlet, that clubbing, actually going out and partying at night, is probably the second most successful method that I use personally. Third one, I would say, is probably just cold approach during the day, in the sense that I was hanging out at cafes or doing something else that was in my daily routine. And then, I was able to meet women. That way it wasn't necessarily social circle. It was just taking the opportunity when it arose during the day to introduce myself to someone that I was interested in. And then I would say the next one down after that was online dating. Obviously, Tinder is the most famous and widespread dating app that there is at the moment. But yes, I did meet models also on Tinder. Wasn't that often that I've met them there, but a couple of times that turned out to be the case. So that's kind of, as you can see, an overview. There are probably different ways that you're more likely to meet the most beautiful women, but you can meet them in all of those ways. Where I don't see where you're going to meet them is by walking around a shopping mall for 8 hours, stopping every girl that you see there with a canned line like those pickup artists kind of day gamers do. This is very, very unlikely, and I would say that the proof of that is I don't see any of them who met a 9 or a 10 that way at all. There's no evidence of that.
Как сказать это правильно? Куда я знаю, может он маньяк?
А, ты не знаешь, это может?
Да.
Вот, если, потому что он на улице, в контексте.
Да, ты не знаешь, потому что если он даже в кафе, да, либо в каком-то ресторане, это более нормально. А просто когда на улице, это тоже, разное бывает, но я бы не хотела давать бы номер.
On top of that, you have, paid dates. These matchmakers who pitch this, they are not likely to, this guy was interested behind me, maybe he's a matchmaker here in Kazakhstan. They pitch these paid dates. The value of those dates is very, very low, and 9s and 10s are not going to be hanging out at a marriage agency or a matchmaker, let's be honest about it, because they already have too many options. Why would they go there to meet a guy? So what I want to emphasize to you with this very short video is there are lots of ways, and you've got to identify a couple of things. This is what I help my consulting clients with a lot on the consulting calls. Also in the in-person experience, if they come and hang out with me in person in a city like Almaty here, or Chisinau, or in times past in Kiev or in Minsk, is that it's a bit like Pareto efficiency, Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. Like, you got to figure out, okay, where is the most room for improvement here with the resources that I have. So for example, if you're moving to the city for a year, then you do have a lot of time to invest in social circle, and that will ultimately give you a huge reward, but you do need to put in a lot of time up front, identify how you're going to mix in the right circles, what your value proposition is to those circles. Otherwise, if you have less time, you're probably going to focus on things like online dating, going clubbing, because you're spending less time there and you're more likely to get the return quicker, though it is going to be a bit more difficult. And then you got to optimize those things. Like, are you able to interact in a club? Do you know the best places to go to? Do you know how to meet women online? What does your online dating profile look like? Where can you improve it? So I watch other coaches, so we call them, or people giving dating advice here on YouTube. And a lot of them, they come up with this kind of mantra, you know, you should be improving on everything all of the time. Well, that's not very helpful for prioritization and actually figuring out how you can get the biggest return on your investment of time and resources. If you just say improve on everything, well, maybe, you know, going to the gym and being fitter is great, but maybe you're already super fit, and actually spending more time on that is not actually going to give you any benefit versus maybe just improving and tweaking your online dating profile, or deciding that you're going to maybe not focus so much on having the six, but actually go out and have fun at the club on the weekend. And that might be a way that you actually might be able to improve your chances of meeting the hottest girls while you're here in Eastern Europe. So to finish off the video, I just want to say that you should be trying to integrate this all into a lifestyle where, you know, you're going through your daily life, you aren't inhibited by, you know, too much shyness, you have obvious value, you're able to demonstrate them that value to women that you're going to meet. Maybe it's just going to, you know, in the coffee shop during the day in the cafe, or maybe it's at night you go clubbing, or maybe you're just on your online dating profile, or you're developing that really top level social circle in your city. And this is something that I do help my clients with a lot. So if you'd like to figure out how you can maximize your opportunities to meet the most beautiful women in Eastern Europe, there are a few ways that I can help you. Number one is in-person Zara experience with me. That is by application only. And actually you should go and check out my video from Kharkiv in Ukraine that I shot with some clients who were there in the in-person experience with me last year before you apply. And, you know, maybe it could be you next weekend. Currently I'm in Almaty in Kazakhstan for another few weeks, and there are some free spots available, but it is by application only. And on a beautiful autumn's Almaty evening, I bid you a do svidaniya, and I will see you in the next video.
SAR Experience.